This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Unforgiven 2000. That's September 24th. We're in Philadelphia. The show sold out in 2 hours. Now we've got 18,000 fans in the building, $822,000 gate. The business is just white hot. And the semi-main event is Triple H versus you with Mick Foley as the special guest referee. We're about 9 months worth of build here. And I guess this is a little unusual because technically it's a heel versus heel match. Did you find that style of not heel versus babyface, but heel versus heel, is that harder than heel versus babyface? Or is it easier than babyface versus babyface, or both?
I think heel versus heel is the toughest one because the fans are not going to cheer either one of you. And, you know, when you have a double babyface match, the fans are going to choose which side they want to cheer. When you're a heel versus heel, they don't want to cheer for either of you. So it's a lot harder to do. The arena is going to be a lot more quiet than it usually is. And even though Triple H was a big name in the business, he was creating a lot of heat with Stephanie, and I was creating a lot of heat by trying to tear up their relationship. So, this was a really tough match to do, and I understand why the fans didn't respond the way they were expected to, because we were both heels.
The match goes 17 minutes and 26 seconds. It's a no DQ match. It gets 3 1/4 stars from the Observer. Meltzer would say Angle got a near fall with a belly to belly suplex. It was scary quiet considering who it was and how good it was. Angle missed a moonsault. Triple H did a 1-arm pedigree, still selling the left arm. Stephanie was called in by Triple H to make a choice, and she kicked Angle low. Triple H then delivered a pedigree for the pin, and Stephanie acted like she felt guilty about what she did, and Triple H, quote unquote, forced a kiss on her while he was all bloody, and she acted repulsed. A lot to unpack here. Did you think this was the right way to unwind this storyline?
No, because they didn't go any further with it. It was, it kind of died down after that. So, him, getting friction with Stephanie would have pissed me off even more, and I would have interjected even more. And by then I wasn't, the story kind of died off after that. So I'm not sure why they ended it like they did, but I think what happened was Austin was returning. He needed an opponent, and Triple H was available because Vince wanted me to wrestle The Rock the next month. So I think that they had to end the storyline abruptly and go with Triple H and Stone Cold eventually. So I don't know any other reason, because that the storyline could have continued when he repulsed Stephanie by kissing her with all bloody and forced himself on her. That was just another storyline to continue the program, and we didn't do that. So I would imagine it's because I was going to become world. I think it was a last second decision that Vince wanted me to be world champion, and he wanted Hunter to go off with a program with Stone Cold. So I don't know any other reason than that.
There's a famous story out there, and it might be bullshit, as with a lot of things in wrestling. It becomes telephone, telegram, telewrestler. But there is a famous story that once upon a time in a creative meeting, apparently, according to the legend, Triple H spoke up and said something like he wanted this angle done because a guy like me, referencing Triple H, would not lose a girl to a guy like him, saying the quote unquote dweeb Kurt Angle character. And I think some of the folks were sort of taken aback by that, like, what the fuck? It's wrestling. Who cares?
Yeah.
But also, too, you bring up a great point that perhaps he just thought, and in this era, especially, you're paid based on where you are on the card, and if you're in the main event and pay-per-view bonuses and whatnot. So if he thinks Triple H has a shot to wrestle Steve Austin, well, that's going to be more money than Triple H wrestling Kurt Angle, right?
Without a doubt, yes. So maybe he thought of it from a business perspective, but I really don't know. I wasn't in the meeting, and I don't know what Triple H had said or didn't say. I wouldn't be surprised either way, but that's not my choice.
Had you heard that before I just said it, or did I just introduce it to you?
No, it was relatively new to me. I'd never heard that before, so I'm actually surprised. But again, I'm not surprised. I understand why Hunter didn't want the program to continue. It's kind of hard to have another wrestler kissing your girlfriend or fiance, or
Sure.
rubbing up against her and stuff. It can get a little offensive. So I understand if he had problems with it, but he never told me he did. He never showed that he did. So I don't know.
Well, supposedly someone in the room would go on a little tour when they did interviews and whatnot, and they would say, "Oh, well, a guy like that can't beat you. Why don't y'all try for real?" So people were advocating for you. Meltzer would write of this: if it hadn't come in with so much hype and come in with so little crowd reaction and such a weak finish, in some ways it was actually a flop, given the lack of heat after 9 months of building, and perhaps the lack of heat was the way he's been booked. He's been a great undercard chicken shit heel, but not for a guy to be put in a position to have an impact on top, or to use a tired phrase, but that is applicable in a main event condition or main event position, easy for me to say, to draw money. So I think Angle, the character and the way we had developed it this year, Meltzer saying maybe he didn't need to be in this spot anyway. But considering you had won King of the Ring, you had won the European title, you had won the Intercontinental title, and you started the year with an undefeated streak, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. What do you think of Meltzer's assessment?
I don't agree with it either. I think that Vince wanted me to be more of a whining heel, a selling heel, a heel that bumped and fed and got his ass kicked and cheated to win. And I wasn't a dominating heel by any means. So I didn't win a lot of matches, but I won the important ones. And that's what I wanted to stress on this was, when you win the big ones, that shows you're a winner. And doing jobs here and there because they wanted to enhance the other talent, I get it. So I think that the whole reason why they did it is because I didn't complain about it.
Right.
I was willing to do whatever I had to do to make the product better. And that's, Vince looked at me and said, this kid's a team player. Right. I want this guy with me forever. And, I don't blame him for that.
By the way, on August 24th on SmackDown, someone reports Triple H to the police for spousal abuse, and then he's taken into questioning. And of course, you're the prime suspect as to who ratted him out, but it wasn't you. Foley makes Stephanie your partner for the night in the main event against The Rock and Lita, who won, by the way. The idea is Foley has decided to make a tense situation even worse. He's playing both sides against the middle here. And we get some really fun segments with him, like when he's talking to you from behind a desk and the camera pans over to show his desk is on a motorized cart that drives off. How great was Mick Foley in his commissioner role? He
was awesome. He had a great personality. He's one of the funniest guys I've ever met. And, he always produced, always came up with great material. A lot of the stuff he came up with was on his own. He would come up with his own creative stuff. And he was really good at that. He did extremely well with it.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.